Oh, there we go. You guys probably couldn't hear me. What's up? Now you can hear me. Uh, hey, I'm Tony Camponovo. I'm your product specialist for the South. Here we are. We're live, and we're in almost prime time. So we're live on Facebook and YouTube. So welcome to Pod Go Live. That's what we're talking about today. Um, I wanted to pick this preset to show you guys just because I thought it was somewhat relevant because I used it during our Yamaha Guitar Group open house event. So I wanted to just kind of break that preset down in case any of you watched that and saw my little performance during the open house. So basically the sound I'm going to talk about is just one that I created myself, and I just called it mid-gain prog. So it's kind of a semi gritty amp tone, using just a couple of little choice effects set up a certain way, and it's to me it sounds very kind of like the modern prog rock sound. If you listen to bands like Chon and stuff like that, which I really dig. Those guitar sounds have just enough like overdrive and grit to give them some sustain and sound really crisp, but it's not too much or anything like that. It's still very articulate. So just to give you an idea here, I've got the preset pulled up now. So that's the sound, and I'm just going to go over here to my PodGo edit. So if you guys have this on your desktop, this makes it a whole lot easier to tweak effects and things like that. So let's get started breaking this guy down. And again, this is the exact preset that I used for my performance for the YGG open house. And I really dig it. So those of you that have PodGo already, you're going to have 4 blocks that are always there. Your amp and cabinet. Let me go over here so you can. You're always going to have your amp and cab. You're always going to have an EQ, and you're always going to have an expression pedal. Now, whether or not you choose to use those is up to you. You don't have to. As you can see, I have my EQ turned off. So I'm not really using an EQ on this preset. But first things first, I'll show you the amp that I started with. So I'm using this lovely Line 6 litigator, which is an original Line 6 IR. It's kind of got a Dumble vibe, or kind of a lower gain Marshall-y kind of tone. Let me just turn these other guys off so you can hear the amp by itself. Make sure that's not on. Okay, so got a super dry. And you guys let me know if that's not loud enough. It's kind of quiet here in my room, but I don't want to like shake the windows or anything like that. So I've got my litigator, and as you can see, here's how I tuned the EQ and everything. The drive is on 4, so I'm not trying to get it super overdriven or anything like that. It's just got a little bit of breakup. So it's got a little bit of attitude, but it's not like so distorted that it's sounds like a buzzsaw or anything like that. So drive is on 4, bass is essentially on 4. It says 4.1, but it might as well just be 4. Mid is on 5.3. That's probably a little specific, but that's how I got it. And the treble is fairly high, 7.3. And then presence is, I don't know if you consider this to be a pretty high presence or pretty low, but to me I guess that's considered kind of high. I usually like a lot of presence on something that doesn't have a lot of overdrive, just because it gives you a little more of that high-end bite. And then here I've got the sag, hum, and ripple, all that stuff, or the sag and hum and master volume. Those are all just set to how they would be on the factory preset when you pull it up. And the bias, I've got that cranked all the way up. So the reason I do that is just to give it that bright kind of Class A sound, almost, like a Vox or something similar to that. I like that sound for these types of guitar tones. That bright Class A sound. Just, if you're not using a lot of gain, you got to get some kind of authority in there somehow, so you can hang with like the drums or whatever's going on. So that's what I have there. The bias is all the way up. Bias X is still just set to 5. And then I'll move over here to the cabinet. I've got this 1x12 Celestion. And now I think what's important to note on this is the mic. I'm using the 121 ribbon mic. I really like the 121 and the 160. And the 4038, which would be like one after this one or two after this one. But these are all, these ribbon mics, they really pick up the little nuances of your guitar really well. Like in reality, when you're using a real mic, ribbon mics just sound great for recording. And so when you have the option, why not? I think it sounds more guitaristic with that ribbon mic. It definitely picks up that nice got a little bit of low cut going here, a little bit of high cut. No early reflections. I don't really like that sound. A lot of times you'll get enough of those when you're playing live, so I don't do anything to increase those. So now that we've got the bulk of everything, that amp is the bulk of it. That's what you're really going to need. So after that, I've got a couple of other little nice things. I've got this reverb punched in, and this is the searchlight, so I'm going to just turn that on. So when you're looking for reverbs, you got this beautiful reverb display, and everything's got its own little graphic. So just the searchlights, that's a fairly new one in the world. I guess a couple of years in the making or something. It's been around, but sounds really good. And just show you how I have it dialed in here. The decay is, I guess that's kind of high. It just depends on how much of it you have in the mix. So, I don't have any pre-delay going there. Do have a little bit of the high cut. I just don't like a lot of high stuff. It can get kind of hissy sometimes. Oh, the mix is set to 22. That's a pretty good amount of mix if you're interested. So here's how we sound now that we have all that in there. So there's a good bit of ambience going on there, and I don't think it's really too much because the sound that I had for when I performed for the Vexpo event, it wasn't too drowned out with reverb, but there's still a good amount in there just to give you some kind of depth to what you're doing. Okay, now here is the really special parts of this preset. So let me show you what I do for something like this. I like to throw, of course, a compressor here at the first, and this is the red squeeze that I'm using. And so you can see I've got the mix set to 50%. Any more than that, and it just starts to sound too compressed, I guess. So let's turn that on. So it's already getting a little more snappy. It makes it just a little tighter. And the reason I like compression for this, I mean, not only does it kind of tighten up just your overall tone and just make it a little more responsive, but when you're doing, you know, a lot of things, a lot of tapping or legato type stuff, it just really helps because the weaker notes that you may hit that you're not picking, they can be brought up a little more, and then the stronger notes are kind of regulated. I always think of a compressor as kind of like sonic Prozac. It takes away some of those peaks and valleys that come out when you play, and sometimes you want those, and sometimes you want a little bit of those. So, you know, just this compressor at 50% just kind of balances that out a little more, just for this particular style, I guess, that I'm thinking of. And then the other secret, and I learned this actually just doing demos and presentations just out on the road at other places back when we were traveling, is I threw in this other compressor, the LA Studio Comp. Let's turn that on. And here it is, just when you're looking so you can find it in the editor. And I put this at the very end of the signal. So the reason I do that, you know, you think, well, okay, according to, you know, traditional logic, you shouldn't have your compressor there. Your compressor should be at the beginning of your chain. Well, I've got a compressor at the beginning of my chain, but I'm not doing a traditional pedal board. You know, this is all virtual, basically. It's all contained within this box. So this compressor is behaving more like, you know, a compressor that would be in the board in a recording studio coming in after the fact. And so it just, and again, I've got it set to 50% here. Nothing crazy going on. Maybe the gain's bumped up just a touch, and it's set to compress, obviously. And so this is how I end up just getting, you know, so much sustain. You know, I've got a pretty clean sound, but I've got a nice amount of sustain and compression going there without using a bunch of distortion. And as you can see, I haven't added any overdrive yet. So what if we do want some overdrive? So I did put some overdrive in this chain just in case I wanted it. I'm using the Tima. So here she is, number 4 on your list here on the editor. And there's a beautiful graphic of it, so it's easy to find. And as you can see, I have it set with everything pretty low. It's really not adding a whole lot of gain, but I have the level cranked up a bit, so it's kind of more of just almost a clean boost. You will get a little grit in there, a little more, but not too much. It doesn't color the overall tone very much. Just makes it a little more aggressive. I've got the clipping set to up. So, so here we are without it. So it does give you just a little bit of overdrive, that you might want for playing leads. And, I was using it just to kind of stick out, on my original tune that I played, that I would use just for, coming in for solos or lead stuff. So again, we can just kind of compare that. Let's go back. Let's compare that without it. And then turn it on. So, even still, that's not really overbearing. That's just, in my mind, is not anyway. That's just enough to kind of give it some nice, a little more beef in the tone. So, as you can hear, it's totally not overbearing. I can still play chord. So you can see what I'm doing. I guess it's also worth noting that on my guitar I do have the coil tap in action here, so I'm essentially using some single coil pickups, and I have it set to the middle position. I've got a three-way switch on this guitar, so the middle is kind of close to getting that Fendery out of phase sound that is also pretty common, I think, in this style of music that we're talking about, just this modern progressive rock, where you want some mid gain happening, but not a ton of distortion. So if I go to my pickup, it's just a little darker, then going to the bridge pickup, it's even, you know, kind of twangy, so it would be cool for kind of an aggressive, kind of a country tone. So, and then if I push in on the pickup to the humbucker, you're going to get a little more sustain and all that good stuff. So it's a little more shreddy, I guess. So let's see. Are these patches available on the website? This particular one is not available yet, but that's pretty easy to do. So yeah, we can, if that's something people want, we can either, I can throw it up on the custom tone, and if it doesn't pass custom tone requirements, then I guess I can send it to you. So you guys know how to reach out. David Munoz, your pod go is on its way. Cool, man. Cool. What's up, Sheldon? What's up, Pedro? What's up, Brian Bork? You the one that asked if this was available for download. So yes, I mean it's possible. I don't think we've officially put it up yet, but it would be. Video is blurry, or is it just your internet? What's up, Matt? I think we exchanged emails. We're going to be meeting up soon. I don't know. It's not blurry on mine, but I think it goes in and out. I think a while ago I got a little blurry, so it's, you know, it's a live stream, so maybe that's why. I noticed that there was a little blur action going on. Zachary, yes. You probably heard what I said about that. Sorry, the bad video quality, Roman. Yeah, sorry about that. Texas tornado, yep. What's up, Matt? You said it's fixed now, so I don't know. It goes in and out. Sometimes, you know, it's just, I'm up here in the hills, so maybe it's me. I don't know, but it looks okay on my monitor. I do notice that it does go in and out a little bit. Sorry about that. Hopefully you can hear me okay. What's up, Steve? Your mind is blown. I'm not sure if that's in a good way or bad way, but hopefully it's not too bad. Zachary, you love your Pod Go. Cool. I love Pod Go too, man. Pod Go is pretty sweet just because it's small, it doesn't weigh anything, and it's affordable, very affordable. And it's, you know, it's essentially, you can get all the Helix sounds, you know, minus a few bells and whistles, but you can get it in a super affordable and compact little package, and it's pretty great, you know, for people that are on a budget, especially, you know, the things that you trade for are worth it, definitely. So I'm super excited about mine, and I love it because I can just throw it in a suitcase. So that's really cool. Well, if I was traveling anywhere, I'm not really traveling too many places these days. I don't know about you guys. But anyway, so I'm looking through the comments. I think I kind of got to everybody. Sorry, some of the video quality was in and out. Probably something I did wrong. I don't know. I'll try to do better, guys. All I do is play guitar. I don't know anything else. But yeah, let us know if you dig this preset, and you know, we'll look into either putting this patch on custom tone, and if not, then I think you guys know how to find me if you look right here. So I don't know, holler at me. But yeah, a lot of times we put these patches on the custom tone site, so you too can have the fun. And this is a simple patch. If you've been watching at this point, you probably know that it's not super hard to create this patch. You know, you've got the litigator amp, the 1x12 Celestion with a 121. The mic is always like, it's so much of it. I think that's like, you know, 40% of your sound a lot of times is going to come from the different mic options. So if you go through each mic on here, it's going to make the exact same rig sound different every time you change mics. And then this nice Searchlights reverb. You know, it's not really hard. I think the secret ingredient, besides the microphone, is having, you know, this red squeeze at the beginning, and then this LA Studio comp at the end. And then this overdrive is just, you know, it's subjective if you want it. You know, again, like I was saying, it's not, it doesn't make a huge difference. So when I turn it back off, here I'll go to my humbucker sound here. I started to play a real song there, but I didn't want to. So if anybody knows what tune I started to play there, let me know. And you can always kind of roll back on the tone and the volume to clean it up. That's the cool thing about these mid-gain sounds. You can, you know, once it's cranked, you have that gain, but if you ease up on the volume, I've got my tone rolled back a little bit now. Here, let me switch scenes. What's up, Chad? Hey, man. So yeah, I turned my volume down and rolled back on my tone a little bit. So yeah, that shows you there. It's really diverse. I just kind of didn't even turn the overdrive on at all there. I just played with my volume a little bit and my tone. And so yeah, mid-gain guitar tones, they're the bomb.com, because I can still, one more little thing I'll show you before I get out of here. Let's see. So I'll go ahead and turn my my Overdrive on, and just show you, kind of originally this coil tap sound. Still very clean and bright, but you can get more sustain for like the tapping thing. Those sort of things, it's just a little bit easier. I don't have a lot of distortion, but I can still get that right hand tap thing going. So anyway, hope that was helpful for you guys. Let us know what you think, and I hope you dig that preset. And yeah, thanks all of you for tuning in, and I will see you on the next time I go live, which will not be next week, but we'll be doing some more cool stuff in the future. So thanks all of you for tuning in, and stick a fork in me because I am done. Ciao.